Good morning to you. Welcome. Happy Thursday. I keep trying to think of something different to say every day. Over all these days and months that I've been talking to you first thing in the morning, I hope it's been a blessing. I think it has for some of you, and it's certainly been a blessing for me. Well, today I'm just going to have just a little thought today, and it's taken from Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 4. Ezekiel's a very interesting book to read. It starts with the most amazing attempt at describing visions that Ezekiel had, and it is very difficult to put into words exactly what you see when you see something the like of which you've never seen before. You don't know really what to liken it to. You have to liken it to things that you've seen. But I was looking at Ezekiel chapter 4 and just was struck. I'm sure you've had this experience. You've read the scriptures over and over again and you come across something and you don't ever remember having read it before. And that was how I felt when we read Ezekiel 4. I hadn't realized that actually Ezekiel made a model. He was a model maker, or he made a model certainly at this point. We've seen many of the prophets do various things, act out things. Sometimes they've described a picture, and like Amos, what do you see? The Lord said to Amos, what did you see? And he said, I saw a plumb line, or I saw a bowl of fruit, or I saw this, or I saw that. And with pictures, it's very helpful to know that the way the prophets dealt with it was to simply say what they saw. And when they said what they saw, the Lord gave them the interpretation of what it meant. We shouldn't start with the interpretation. We should start with simply saying what we've seen. But here in Ezekiel 4, let me read it to you. It just says here, and you, O son of man, take a brick and lay it before you, and portray upon it a city, even Jerusalem, and put siege works against it, and build a siege wall against it, and cast up a mound against it, set camps also against it, and plant battering rams against it round about, and take an iron plate and place it as an iron wall between you and the city, and set your face towards it, and let it be in a state of siege, and press the siege against it. The Amplified Version puts in place of the brick in the first verse a tile, which I think is a very good translation of that. And it says, and make upon it a drawing of a city. So here is Ezekiel at the command of the Lord. He has a tile or a flat baked surface like a brick, but it's the flat end of it. I don't think they had shaped bricks like we have here, so don't think about a shaped brick like a British brick is, but think about a very rectangular brick or tile, and he's to draw on it a city. So he draws the outline of a city, the city as you would see it with the roofs, and he makes a drawing of the city. And then he's asked to put siege works against it and build a siege wall against it. And so with clay and earth, he builds a model round this drawing of the siege works, and a little ladders and I can imagine him with little ladders to climb the walls, and set camps also within it. The camps, little tents, camps all round for the enemy. And then this iron plate, placing it between him and the city, so that there's to stop any interference with this siege. The city is in a state of siege, and it was a sign for the house of Israel. And it just filled my imagination to think of the prophet Ezekiel building a model. And I don't think he would have made the model very quickly. He built a model, drew a model of Jerusalem, and built siege works against it. There's something lovely about representing what you're thinking about in a drawing or in three-dimensional work, however simplistic it might be, a three-dimensional work is, it's as you make something, as you draw something, it really gives you the opportunity to think quite deeply while your hands are occupied. And perhaps we're at a stage a bit like we were at the beginning, when you may remember I was suggesting that you take a verse that the Lord uses to speak to you and you write it in elaborate letters or in beautiful lettering, or lettering that can be decorated or filled in on a sheet of paper, blank paper, and you decorate it accordingly and paint it. We are going to have plenty of time over the next month when we can't do what we would like to do. And doing something creative, it may not be your style. Your style may be more Ezekiel's style, where you make something physical, you build something, you depict something. Maybe the Lord has spoken to you about an aspect of your life, or about, I don't know, and you want to depict that in a physical way. And all of that helps our imagination and our thinking and our meditating on the Word of God. Maybe the Lord gives you the story that Jesus told about the two houses, one built on the rock, one built on the sand. Well, why not look on Google for a Middle Eastern ancient style of house and build two. One on a solid foundation and the other one on a surface of sand. And then pour some water over the model and see what happens to the houses. I don't know. Use your imagination. This is an opportunity we have to meditate on the Word of God in a creative way. And many of the stories of the Bible can be depicted. I mean, how many people have made models of the ark and of the animals that went into it, and how children have loved playing with those models, and it has reinforced the story of Noah and the ark and God rescuing the righteous out of disaster. There are lots of things that can be made as a model. Every year at Christmas we have a model of the Nativity. We have figures. Usually we buy them, but we can make them. Maybe you want to make your own nativity set for this Christmas. I don't know. As you make each person and each figure and each creature for the stable, you can think about them and think about the amazing events of Christmas. Think about something you can do if you are the sort of person who enjoys doing something with your hands. And I think there is in all of us a creativity that God has planted. Let's use it during this time when we can't do other things. Let's use it. Let's not waste this time. Let's use it to enhance our relationship with the Lord as we make or draw or do something creative. Have a great day. Have a thinking day, perhaps. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.